All right, coming off of a Bengals loss to the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau, we're breaking it all down skinny. You're inside a Lambeau field right now. The first start of the Joe Flacco era. Just what'd you see out there? Obviously, first half started slow. They had to find their rhythm a little bit, right?
Yeah, and I think a question was asked of Zac Taylor. Did you think, with it being Joe's first start, did that cause it? He said he didn't think that was the case. And I don't know if it was. And another question was, is there a common thread to the last four first halves? Yanni, they've scored 9 points and 9 points total in the last four first halves, including today. That puts everybody behind the eight ball. The first quarter, they didn't have a first down. They had 1 yard in the first quarter. Until their last drive of the first half, they had 21 yards. And so it just was a slog. But then they did find something on that last drive of the half, the one that ended on the missed Evan McPherson 67-yard field goal that he made after the timeout was taken, unfortunately, but then missed it. But they all talked about like they found something in the passing game at that point. And then Joe Flacco got in a great rhythm in the second half. I mean, he looked like that's why you traded for Joe Flacco. He made the offense look good, and he led them on touchdown drives of 72 yards. He led them on another 50-yard drive for a field goal and a 65-yard touchdown drive. Was driving at the end. They were up against it from a time perspective and kicked a field goal that Evan missed from 56 yards out to try to make it a one-score game. But I guess I would say there's the two ways to look at it of, you got to get something going in the first half. But what you saw from that point for that last drive forward, I think that's got to give you some hope for this upcoming three-game stretch if you're a fan.
Yeah, I was almost joking at one point in the second half that it seemed like Flacco realized, like, oh, I have wide receivers here that can actually anticipate the ball. And you started to see that in the second half as him and Jamar and T were really able to build that connection, which is something that you can only be excited for looking forward to the future, which Bengals fans haven't had a lot to be excited about since Joe Burrow went down.
Yeah, I thought he also did a good job taking easy completions, like, take your first read, maybe get to your second, and then hit the guy for a 6 yard gain and keep things moving forward. And then to your point, trust Jamar Chase is going to make some contested catches. And he did. I mean, the touchdown catch was still ridiculous. I have binoculars on it, and I kind of followed the ball the whole way, and I'm watching. I'm like, there's no way this thing can get fitted in there. He makes an unbelievably strong handed catch. And I think the more Joe Flacco sees that, even though he knows who those guys are, the more he sees that, the more I think you're going to see him trust them, and himself to just let it rip to those guys in particular. So, maybe it was just you got hot at one point. I don't know. I think they kind of found something, and I think gave themselves maybe a confidence boost, at least offensively, for what they did from that last drive of the first half on.
And obviously, with Flacco, you don't have the mobility, which I think is something that everyone was when they first traded for him behind the offensive line. Everyone kind of questioned, like, why would you get a guy that can only stand in the pocket? But I mean, we saw, especially in the second half, why you have a guy like Joe Flacco because he's able to sit back there. They had him in the shotgun. They spread everything out for the most part today and let him just find who's open.
I thought the offensive line held up pretty well. I
Yeah.
mean, there was one sack in the low red zone where Orlando Brown got beat. I don't know if it was the guy anticipating the snap, but he got beat badly. And there was some pressure on Flacco, but for the most part, I thought the protection held up. I thought Joe moved around enough at times to buy himself some time. I thought he understood as he should, and veterans should, of sometimes out of the pocket, look around, not there, just throw it away and let's go play another down. So, yeah, I thought it was kind of a nice marriage. He was sacked one time. If you'd told me going this game with this defense that puts all that pressure on you, and Mike, I mean, I didn't really notice Micah Parsons much today, and I thought it was going to be a field day for Micah Parsons.
And then also, with getting him going a little bit, the run game still isn't there, but Chase Brown averaged almost 5 yards a carry today. That's, I would say, I think by far his best output so far this season. So you're starting to see how the wheels could sort of turn and this could get going in a positive way.
Yeah, and I mean, when we talked last week, and I did a couple of radio interviews in town this week, I said, just go up there and at least come out of it feeling like, okay, we found something. Now you got to the defense here in a little bit because they need to find something too. But you did, and so take that into this three-game home stretch where you have a chance to gain a game on the Steelers who are in first place. You have two more winnable games after that. You get to the bye at 5-4. If you'd have told me before the season started, in fact, I think when I did a prediction column, I believe I had them around 6-3 at the bye with Joe Burrow. If you got to 5-4 with all the stuff that's going on and you found something starting with this game, then I think you feel like this team can make a run for the playoffs, but they got to fix some stuff.
Yeah, I would say if you were to ask Bengals fans how they felt a week ago, if you were to tell them you're going to lose at Green Bay and be 2-4, they would not have felt the way they probably feel
Right.
tonight after this game. But again, like you said, still some things to fix. The defense played well today. Obviously, you had a Trey Hendrickson go down. Logan Wilson was really out of the game almost entirely in the second half. Saw Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight really taking over as your two linebackers. Just what did you see out of that defensive unit tonight?
I mean, they have moments of like this unit can get some stuff done. I mean, they get the great interception, DJ Turner tipping a pass that Geno Stone picks off on the first drive. They forced two other punts in the first half. They hold them to 10 points in the first half, which kept you in the game because
Hmm.
this felt like it could have been a landslide, like 24-0, but they didn't. But then here what seems to be, I don't understand what the issue is, but there is some semblance of an issue of it was like last week. They got it to 28-17 with 10 minutes to go. And it's still a hill you have to climb, but you get a stop there and you go down and make it a one-score game, and who knows what happens. Today, you got it to 10-7, gave up a touchdown drive. Got it to 17 to set, got it to 17 to 10, gave up a touchdown drive. Got it to 24-18, gave up the game-clinching field goal drive. And yes, and you can point to some of that not having Trey on the field for that entire second half. I mean, they didn't really stop him on the three series the main three series that they had other than the kneel down at the end of the game. And some of that's probably Trey related, but I mean, there's coverage gaps in the secondary. Unfortunately, on that one Josh Jacobs touchdown run, the first play of the fourth quarter, where he went right up the middle, 14 yards. I mean, you saw both linebackers, and Ben Baby from ESPN always has the dots up, and I could see it myself without the dots, but the dots reinforced it. Like those two guys just totally went to the wrong gap. One went one way, one went the other, and guess who wasn't in the middle? Nobody was in the middle. And it's a learning thing, right? But it's two rookie linebackers you're playing. I think they're passing the torch from Logan Wilson to Barrett Carter. I think that's pretty clear now at this point. I thought maybe we'd see, Logan in there and some base defense stuff when they go to three linebackers. But they clearly went to a lot of nickel stuff with two linebackers, and the two were the rookies, Demetrius Knight and Barrett Carter. I thought both had good moments today, but again, both had a moment of going the wrong way, going to the wrong place because they're young guys who played all of 6 NFL games at this point, and you got to get that better. So it has its moments, but it's just not consistent enough, and it's so weird. I mean, one of the things that Zac Taylor talks about a lot, I think a lot of coaches talk about complementary football, right? Like the offense has to be out, the defense. Well, today was completely opposite. First half defense did okay, and the offense stunk up the joint. Second half, the offense was great, and the defense stunk up the joint. And that's how you lose football games like you lost today.
I don't think we've seen 60 minutes of complimentary football
No,
going back the last 2 years. Last year was always the offense. This year, when the defense has played well, the offense hasn't. And then second half tonight, again, we see the offense start to put it together. The defense can't find it. But in that first half, especially Skinny, I think we saw DJ Turner's best performance so far as Bengal. And I should say the whole game for him, because even when the defense was struggling in the second, we still saw some pass breakups from him in good coverage.
and that's if you can find a shutdown corner. I was trying to find the stats for him because I have not even looked at him yet. He had 5 passes defensed. I mean, that is a ton in an NFL game. Five. Um, if you're Al Golden, I don't think you're there yet determining this. It's a good game. I don't know, where that goes. But anyway, it was a great game. I thought he was outstanding. Like you noticed him all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
But man, if you can find a guy that you go, that's my shutdown corner. I think you can do a lot of other things with the defense of where coverages can go help other guys. What you can do maybe from a blitz perspective. I thought Al Golden picked a couple of good spots to blitz today, and it didn't completely got home, but it did get Jordan Love off of the spot a couple of times, and I thought that was big. But boy, the run defense just keeps getting gouged and gashed, and they were running a lot of stuff sideline to sideline. But yeah, back to DJ Turner. I knew what I saw with my own eyes. I wanted to see what the stats did to back it up, and it clearly backs it up. He was great.
Yeah, this was like you said. You noticed it right away. If you didn't even see the stats of the 5 passes defense, you still said that
Yeah.
guy made a real impact on this game tonight. Now, short week, Skinny. Thursday night football, back home, division game with Pittsburgh. Obviously, we'll talk about this game throughout the week on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, leading up to that. But your quick thoughts as you're in Green Bay now, getting ready to leave, and as the Bengals get ready to come back home.
Well, they've been a little vocal about having to go on the road on a lot of these Thursday night games the last few years, right? Of short weeks of them going on the road. Well, you got kind of what you wanted, which is a home Thursday game against the division opponent. And you have to take advantage of this. I mean, the winning has to start now. It can't be another who has a good effort and they're close. No, this has to be a winning performance. This has the chance to start you on a 3-game winning streak going into the bye, feeling good about yourself. Now, a little banged up. We don't know about Amarius Mims. Zach was asked his status. He came out late in the game, and Cody Ford went in for him. So we don't know his status. I guess we'll find out tomorrow when we talk to Zach at 1 o'clock in his weekly press conference. You mentioned Trey. I mean, a short week with a back issue doesn't mean he can't play, but maybe he's not able to go on the short week. I think the good news would be that I think we'll get Shamar. So I think you'll see Shamar Stewart back this week playing. So that should be a big help. I think you'll see Lucas Patrick back in the starting lineup at a guard. I think that should help. So yeah, this is when you got what you want. You got a short week at home. I know you played a late game here today, and you're not going to get home to Cincinnati until probably 10 o'clock, 10:30 Eastern time, maybe even later than that. I honestly don't know what their flight plans were. And the week goes by like that because you really don't even have practices. You have walkthroughs for the most part, doing a lot of mental rep stuff. So it comes fast. But Pittsburgh is facing the same thing, and they have to come to you. And I'm not sure they're world beaters either. So this is one. Start the winning streak now. No more. Hey, today was an attaboy. You got yourself at least righted or going in the right direction. Now that you've done that, now start the winning streak this coming week.
All right, that'll do it for this game against the Packers. The Bengals end up losing this one. Final score 27-18, looking to bounce back at home on Thursday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thanks, Skinny.
Thanks, Yanni.